All right. What is up, everybody? Sorry for being a little bit late. I had to set up my new secondary monitor, which is actually pretty nice. It's like right here under my screen, so now I can read my chat without looking over like this. And I mean, I must say it's gosh darn sexy. I also had to fix the layout because as you can see, now I'm above the bar and the little wood exchange thing is right here at the bottom. Anyways, I was doing a very long interview with the YouTuber yesterday. He asked me, I don't know, I guess he saw like one of my streams or something, and he asked like, what do I do to make money, essentially? Like what is my alpha, right? Like everything that I learned and know in trading, he asked for me to explain everything, and I'm like, bruh, everything? That's a lot. I can't. you can't. It's not like I just trade technical analysis and like, oh yeah, look at this and look at that and blah blah blah. Like that's it, and then like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, the call is over. So he's like, no, it's fine. Just tell me everything. I was like, all right. And the call basically lasted like 2.5 hours. So yeah, so yesterday I basically worked from essentially like 8 a.m. all the way to 11:15 p.m. And today I basically did the same thing. I mean, now it's 9:17 p.m. I'm gonna get off of this, maybe do this for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And then sign off. So another full day of just literally nothing but work. But I enjoy it, right? As long as you like hit the gym all the time, focus on building something positive, then it doesn't really feel like work. You know what I mean? So it's pretty enjoyable. As long as like the whole building aspect. But I saw this this tweet right here while I was sending out the marketing, I'm streaming, blah blah blah, come join. I read this. It says, personal rant today. Sometimes we, me included, think we deserve a certain outcome just because we showed up and worked hard, but life doesn't always reward effort right away. Effort does not equal entitlement. The work compounds quietly long before it becomes visible. Consistency feels pointless before it suddenly makes sense. Newton's first law says an object in motion stays in motion. Same thing in life, building careers, crypto, etc. When things don't go my way, I remind myself of that Hemingway's line. Gradually, then suddenly. That's the mindset I'm trying to keep. And I replied with, definitely can vibe with that. I've worked the hardest I've ever worked during my time trying to build What Exchange, and it hasn't really paid off much at all. I can only hope that through continued hard work and consistency that the community will eventually notice us. So I mean, like reading this tweet, man, it hit hard because here I am working all day every day, and I don't want to rant on this too long. It's not stupid, Mike. It's not like I'm looking for pity or anything like that, right? But just more so of like kind of like sharing my journey, I guess, thus far. And yeah, I mean, it hits hard because this is definitely the most I have ever worked by far. And one thing that really shocks me is that when I'm trying to essentially sell my product, people don't really want to use it, or at least not as much as when I sell other people's products. So I don't like it. That kind of actually hurts a little bit because I don't know if like they just don't trust me as a founder, I guess, or if it's just like a psychological thing, right? Like nobody wants to be sold something directly by that person. They want to be, I guess, maybe referred by somebody else. I don't know what it is. So let me know what you guys think is the actual cause for that. But I mean, I got thousands of people signed up on Bybit. I got I think like 600 plus people signed up on Apex. I got over like 1,200 or 1,300 people signed up on GRVT, and I think I only got like 300 people signed up on What Exchange, which is my own product. And it's like, what the fuck, bro? Why? Did the people leave? You know what I mean? Like, if you trust me to shill some other product, why don't you trust me to trust, you know what I mean, to try my product? It's just that shit just really, I don't know, keeps me up at night, I guess you could say. Not really, but you know, it's just something that I think about sometimes. Like, what the fuck? Like, why is this? Oh, look at this. Look at that sexy guy right there on the Orderly podcast. I don't know. I honestly, I think it's a psychological thing, to be honest. But it is what it is, right? Like, you just got to keep grinding, keep moving forward, and hopefully I can find some other KOLs that can show some shit. But if you guys do want to show your support, show some love, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that retweet, whatever you can do to show your support. I would highly, highly appreciate it. Oh, I didn't even ask. Mic check. Can you guys even hear me? Am I fucking rambling? Am I lagging? I see Rabbit still typing, but he's not saying shit. And there's no chat messages. So, oh man, I really hope I didn't just ramble and nobody hears me. Mic check. Rabaristo, spit it out, brother. What the fuck is he? Is he typing like a whole goddamn? He said it's really hard to build something and make it successful, and there's a bunch of nice built things that nobody uses. Yeah, it's true. But the thing that shocks me is, like, you know, I essentially have more money than Bybit had when they first started. You know what I mean? And I signed up people on Bybit. Wait a second. What the fuck is this? Oh, I thought I hear something. I heard somebody talking. Anyways, I like when Bybit first started. I mean, I was the very first person there, right? And I think that that Wood Exchange is in a much better place than Bybit was when it first started, and it was pretty easy to bring people over to Bybit, right? I definitely picked the best winning horse that I could have picked, for sure, by far. You know, shit. I mean, I could have been shilling FTX. Thank God I knew that Sam was a piece of crap. But that's what shocks me. You know, like, why is it that I can bring a bunch of people to third-party platforms and I can't bring them to essentially my platform? Sorry, hold on. I swear I'm hearing something. I don't know if it's in my headphones or what. Do you guys hear like any echo or some dude talking or anything like that? Is it just in my head? Some dude other than me? So the best thing that I can do for What Exchange's growth is essentially to just keep trying, right? Keep trying different things to make things switch around. One of the things that we're working on, Barista says, maybe today exist fucking lot of sex and decks make people uses yours now? Yours? Huh? Now that also the retails got executed, I guess it's hard. Yeah, I mean, we were actually doing some pretty good growth before October 10th collapsed, right? Like, we were getting everyone that we onboard is retail, right? So we had like we peaked at 103 users, and we were getting up to like 27 million daily volume, all by retail. So that's pretty good. That's very good. And then, you know, basically everyone went broke, and now our growth has definitely stifled. But we will keep on building, and we will keep on acquiring users little by little. But there are some updates that I want to share with you guys in regards to Wood Exchange. Before I start getting into the whole like market update, blah blah. So one of the biggest things that we did this week to change things up, switch things up, and see if it can help with our growth is I still have my old Wolf Poloniex account. It was unbanned after Elon Musk took over, and it lost like I remember I got banned at 167,000 followers. When it got unbanned, it was like 107,000 or something like that. So it lost like 30% of its followers, 33%, something like that. And then 40%, I don't know, whatever. And that now over time it has just been bleeding over the year. And now it's at 97.7k followers. I tried to turn it into like a KOL again, tried to turn it into intern account, tried to use it myself, and I guess due to the ban, it's just kind of shadow ban. It just keeps bleeding engagement and users, so it's very hard to get back to life. But the engagement is still higher than our original What Exchange account, and the content that is pushed out by our researchers. You know, I have full-time researchers making content for this channel. So if you guys actually want like real research content that you can actually trade on, that you can use to trade on, then by all means, please go follow What Exchange. It is the reason why I set it up this way. I'm essentially trying to turn the exchange account into not just something for updates on What Exchange, but also something for the traders to use for trading, right? So kind of like a mixture of like a KOL account and an exchange account. But one of the things that they put out recently is this. Like, I didn't even know why Uniswap pumped so much. I saw it, right? I was like, what the hell? Everything's down, and Uniswap like did this massive little, well, not massive, but it was well, pretty massive. It's like 25% pump in one day. I was like, what the hell is wrong with that? And literally just before I came on stream, I saw this. So it says, activating the fee switch, a pivotal moment for Uniswap. The fee switch, a long debated and divisive mechanism with the Uniswap ecosystem, is now approaching resolution through the proposed unification initiative. Ooh, that's a really nice name. What exactly does this entail, and how might it impact Uni holders? So, summary of the unification initiative. Uniswap CEO Hayden Adams and the Uniswap Foundation have introduced the unification plan with several key components, enabling a protocol-level fee mechanism with the resulting revenues directed towards burning Uni. Immediately burning 100 million Uni, around 16% of the current circulating supply from Treasury reserves. I mean, that's pretty huge. Now, it's in the Treasury, so, like, you know, it's not like it's out in the open market and burning it, like how Hyperliquid is essentially buying tokens on the open market and burning it. So it's not really the same, but it still has an impact, still has an effect. So you know that those tokens will never go to grants. You know that they'll never be used on like KOLs and marketing or whatever the hell, right? So it still does have a deflationary aspect to it, and it is a bullish. It is definitely a bullish move, right? I mean, 16% of the current circulating supply is massive. That's a very big burn. Channeling fees from unit chain estimated to be 7.5 million annually. You know, maybe it'll grow in the future. Obviously, nobody's using unit chain right now, but in the future it should grow into the same burn mechanism. Removing fees on the official interface, wallet, and API to support broader ecosystem growth and adoption. Bringing Uniswap Labs and Uniswap Foundation into closer operational alignment for more coherent governance and execution. Introducing a protocol fee discount auctions PFDA framework where participants bid using Uni for discounted trading fees, improving capital efficiency, and enhancing value capture at the protocol level. So this is basically a very similar mechanism to BNB and now Mantle. Right, so it seems to be a very popular way for, and also you know, Hyperliquid, right? We're gonna do the exact same with what token. So it basically rewards people for buying and holding and staking the token, and with lower fees, right? So being market participants by holding the token. Following the announcement, Uni quickly rallied by approximately 40%. Damn, I thought it was 25%. That's a nice bounce. The idea of activating the fee switch has circulated in Uniswap governance since 2021 to 2022, but earlier attempts stalled due to low participation and concerns for major holders about potential negative impacts on liquidity providers, on LPs. If approved, unification could mark a structural shift, evolving Uni from a purely governance token into an asset backed by direct protocol earnings and deflationary pressure. So this is huge, right? This makes Uniswap more competitive with a lot of other protocols out there, right? And you can, they voted to have to they voted against it back in 2021 and 2022. Basically, the LP cabal, right? Like the market maker cabals, because they thought that it would have a negative effect. But now that they see Hyperliquid pumping and doing a very good thing, like doing a very good job with how they set things up, now everyone wants to follow what they're doing, thinking that it'll have the exact same effect on them. But in reality, I think if Uni would have passed this way back when, like back in 2021, 2022, then it could have essentially had the exact same impact that Hyperliquid has right now, like the bullish momentum and stuff. It could have gotten like the cultist and all of that. So I mean, they really dropped the ball by essentially being greedy. Like that's just pure greed, right? They decided not to do that because they wanted to keep all of the fees for themselves instead of giving it away to the community, not even thinking like bigger picture that if they gave it away to the community would pump their bags. So it was, I mean, it's whatever, right? It's a difficult situation when you don't have something to look back on, I guess. But I see it as just noobish greed, to be honest, because I think I could have definitely seen the positive outcome of sharing the fees with the community. Anyways, fee distribution on Uniswap before unification. Currently, all swap fees on Uniswap are allocated to LPs. Uniswap v2 standard swap fee 0.3% per transaction. Distribution, 100% of the fees go to LPs proportional to their liquidity share. No protocol level fees. The fee switch remains off. Example, $8,000 swap generates a $3 fee, all paid to LPs. Uniswap v3 is where it changes. Variable swap fees per pool, commonly 0.01, 0.05, 0.3, and 1%. Distribution, 100% of the fees go to LPs providing in-range liquidity. Fees accumulate separately and require manual collection. No protocol level fees. Oh, really? Shit, I thought that they did protocol level fees. So maybe I'm wrong. Proposal fee allocation. Oh, so that was before the unification. So this is after the unification, right? After the new proposal that they put in. Under unification, the fee switch would be activated to redirect a portion of LP fees to the protocol, with all protocol revenues used exclusively to burn Uni. So Uniswap v2, swap fee remains 0.3%, new split 0.05% to the protocol, so that's 16.7% of the total fees, and 0.25% to the LPs, that's 83.3% of the total fees. Protocol fees are routed into token jar for accumulation, they then sent to fire pit for permanent Uni burns. That's pretty big. Swap fee remains flexible, 0.01% to 0.05%, 0. Whatever. New split, protocol receives 25% of the fees from 0.01 and 0.05% pools, and 16.7% of the fees for 0.3 and 1% pools. I mean, the 1% pools, I mean, 16% of that is it's gonna be a lot of money. LPs receive the remaining 75 to 83.3%, still based on in-range liquidity, what with manual claims. Example, for a 0.3% pool, 0.05% goes to the protocol, 0.25% to the LPs. Additionally, the proposal introduces protocol fee discount auctions, where a portion of the protocol fees can be auctioned to reduce trading fees. This mechanism is designed to improve capital efficiency and optimize how value is captured and distributed across the protocol. Based on the proposed ranges, projected protocol revenues, 15 to 25% of the total LP fees, or roughly 416 million to 693 million per year. That's more than I thought. And you see, this is what I love about the articles that the research team comes out with, right? And why I highly advise you guys to seriously follow, turn on the notifications. It's not just me just trying to like basically pump my my what exchange accounts, like following and this and that. No, it's actually useful fucking information, because when I was reading all of this, when I read these first 2-3 parts of the thread, I was gonna tell myself, okay, after this, I'm gonna go to Grok AI. I'm gonna essentially put this thread on Grok AI and then tell it to, give me how much it's earning, like how much would this be causing, or would this be buybacks to make it deflationary, like how basically do what I always do in terms of like fundamental analysis to see if it's a bullish buy or sell. Because I just did that yesterday on the interview for PumpFun, and I did it for the first time, and I realized, holy shit, PumpFun's like a buy. It is definitely a buy, and I'll give you guys that analysis here in a second. But just reading through this and learning through all of this, like, I don't even need to do AI because they say everything right here. I can go and ask AI again just for, you know, educational purposes on the live stream and maybe get some more details or something like that. But this is fucking huge. This is even more than PumpFun. 416 million to 693 million per year. Yesterday I saw the thing with PumpFun. It was like 333 million per year. So now, damn, I just long PumpFun. Shit, now I think I have to. Now I think I gotta switch over to Uniswap. But now I need to let me pull something up. Let me this is Apex. Let me get rid of this coin market cap. Now I need to look and see how much bigger Uniswap is to PumpFun. Where's Uni? There you go. Uniswap is number 25. Where's PumpFun? PumpFun is number 55. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna AI this shit. We're gonna ask AI. Hold on, 25 is what? 25 is 1.488 billion, and 55 is 1. Wait, what? Market cap. Oh shit, my bad. I was looking at the wrong thing. Oh, that's daily. That's daily volume. Wow, that's a lot. So 5.267 billion versus PumpFun's 1.5. Okay, yeah. So I think PumpFun is still the winner on that. We'll AI it just to make sure. But what I'm trying to look at right now is essentially which one would be a better buy to have more essentially self-buying deflationary metrics, right? Like obviously Uniswap makes a lot more revenue than PumpFun per year, and specifically on the buybacks. Where's that at? Right here. So the projected protocol revenues, 15 to 25% of total LPs, or roughly 416 million to 693 million per year, using an annualized fee base of 2.774 billion. All of this is directed to uni burns. Like that is huge. But the market cap is also huge, so it might have less of an impact than it would on PumpFun. You get what I'm saying? Bro, like, why am I not more popular, brother? This is alpha, bruh. Meanwhile, motherfuckers are out here drawing invisible lines on fucking charts and being like, yeah, man, we're gonna go here. We're gonna go there. Fucking retarded. We'll do that too. But this is way more important. Way more important. Okay, so I think oh, the wifey's so cute. I think she has my laptop set up to my stream or something like that, because I can hear myself talking over there somewhere. showing me support. Oh, love you, babe. Anyways, let's continue on with this research article, because uni is definitely looking pretty bullish. I still think PumpFun is better. We'll confirm in a bit, but let's just continue. Projected burn volumes. Using these assumptions, the potential uni burn impact is modeled as follows. Low scenario. Excuse me. Annual protocol fees, 416 million. Annual uni burn, 45.2, basically 45.2 million, right? Unis being burned. So the percentage of circulating supply is 718%. Percentage of total supply is 400. Bro, this is like, I mean, I think that's even better than fucking Hyperliquid. It definitely is better than Hyperliquid. That is huge. High scenario. Oh my God, it gets even better. This is annual? Yeah, annual. 12% burn a year of the circulating supply. 7.5%. That's fucking massive. These burn rates compare favorably with other and by the way, if we have all of these projects doing these buyback and burns, that's just gonna bring the rest of the market up. You know how much liquidity there is on Uni paired against Bitcoin and Uni paired against like Ethereum and Solana and shit? As Uni starts to pump, all of that liquidity paired against it will also arbitrage and bring the rest of the stuff up. So before, you know, we're all reliant on essentially, we're reliant on DATs, right? On Wall Street, basically pumping up the price of everything. But if all of these DeFi and exchanges and everything turn, like if it becomes this thing where everyone's just buying back and burning, then it could be DeFi that's pumping everything up and keeping everything sustained. Because I mean, this is a lot of money being injected into the markets basically. These burn rates compare favorably with other buyback and burn models. Oh, look at that! You see, he even said that. Oh man, I need to give this motherfucker a raise. Actually, I just did. So. But anyways, these burn rates compare favorably with other buyback and burn models such as INA and Hype, and are currently surpassed only by Aster and Scale. Really? So like they even actually said that right there. INA, I actually didn't. I'm not a big fan of INA personally. Not because I don't trust them. I just don't. You know, like. You can get better yields on what exchanges OmniVault, right? So why would I go stake on INA when I can get better yields on what exchange, right? That's basically why. Anyways, but this is the most important thing right here, right? That it's more than Hype. It's surpassed only by Aster and Scale. I mean, Aster I just don't like at all, right? I think that they're doing a lot of wash trading. I think it's a lot of bullshit. Like I don't trust CZ. I know he's a lying fucking cunt. And he has been for many, many years. You know, he used to feed me and my whole like a trading group before. I don't think it was him particularly, but definitely someone within his like executive circle used to feed people KOLs insider information to get coins to pump on listing back in 2017, specifically as a marketing tactic to get users to come on to Binance, right? And then they just like brush it off and they always lie. Oh, you know, we didn't charge for the coin listings. Yes, they fucking did. Oh, we still don't charge for coin listings. Yes, they fucking do. Right? Instead of giving them money, now they make you jump through a million different hoops that essentially brings money to CZ and Binance. Like he didn't make $80 billion or whatever the fuck by being a nice guy. This is just not, that's not how the world runs, unfortunately. But anyways, enough about that. So yeah, so Aster and Scale, I just don't trust that. The fact that it's doing more than Hype and INA is huge. Again, I really want to see if it's more than PumpFun. I don't think so, but we'll confirm that in a bit. So here it talks about the potential risk. Potential risk of the fee switch. Redirecting a share of fees to burns inevitably reduces the portion going to LPs. On V2, LPs go from 0.3 to 0.25. On V3, LPs go from LPs receive 75 to 83.3% of the fees depending on the pool. In theory, this introduces a risk loop. Okay, I didn't think about that. So let's see. Lower LP rewards reduces TVL, higher slippage, lower volume, fewer total fees, smaller uni burns. I don't really see people unstaking because of this though. You know what I mean? Like it's not that much of a downgrade. I mean the 25% is pretty big, but 83 essentially losing 17%. It's significant, but I don't think it'll be enough to like scare away the market makers. And there's already so much like permanently locked liquidity. Like that's really where all of the revenue and all this stuff comes, is that there's just so much locked liquidity on Uniswap because it's just accumulated over the years that I don't think it's that big of a risk. Anyways, let's continue. To counteract this, unification layers and say I was thinking about it and like lost in thought. Unification layers in several safeguards. Phased rollout. Start with Uniswap v2, 0.25% LP, whatever the protocol, then selectively enable on major Uniswap v3 pools. A governance can dynamically adjust parameters based on real liquidity and volume data. PFDA mechanism. By allowing users and integrators to bid Uni for fee discounts with bids burned, the system offsets some LP impact via improved volume and efficiency. Captures MEV internally rather than leaking it, strengthens protocol level value accrual. Uniswap v4 as an aggregator. With Uniswap v4, Uniswap can operate as an on-chain liquidity aggregator, integrating external liquidity sources. Whoa, I did not know that. I mean, that's great to know because we're building our launchpad primarily to use Uniswap. So if we can just connect that shit to Uniswap v4, then that makes things, a lot easier. Applying protocol fees more flexibly, supporting LP sustainability, especially on Unichain. Aligned incentives, continuous uni burns, including the initial. By the way, can you guys stop fucking selling? I see nothing but red on this over here, right? It's like it's really, really distracting. Continuous uni burns, including the initial 100 million contributions from the Unichain sequencer and the removal of front-end /wallet/API fees help align Uniswap Labs, the Uniswap Foundation, LPs, integrators, and users around a shared value loop with the ability to recalibrate if LP yields deteriorate. In the short term, LP yields may compress. The thesis is that greater protocol alignment, stronger liquidity infrastructure, and higher volume over time can more than compensate. Uniswap's position in the AMM DEX landscape. Uniswap remains the leading AMM DEX, driven by continuous production iteration, V2, V3, V4. Deep liquidity across major assets, strong brand and integration across DeFi. If Uniswap maintains this trajectory, robust fee generation is likely to continue. A portion of this is now structurally redirected to Uniburns, strengthening the long-term relationship between protocol usage and token value. Looking ahead, additional tailwinds include increased on-chain activity from meme coins, growth of launch platforms on EVM ecosystems, expansion of fiat on-ramps, and the rise of real-world assets on-chain. I mean, this would be huge. We definitely need way better liquidity because we have RWAs. Look at this dump happening right now on all USD. What the hell, man? Oh, what the hell? Fuck. You guys always have such weak hands, bro. I don't understand. Can you guys stop making your mothers cry and just fucking hold, for Christ's sake? Like, just pretend it's your dick and you're taking a piss. Just fucking hold it, you fucking dirty bastards. Pissing all over your nuts and shit. Jesus Christ. Sad, sad, sad. Look at that volume. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let's pull up the chart. We'll take a quick break from the non-stop spewage of this Uniswap update and see what the feck is happening right now. Is there news? I don't think so. Hold on. I'm checking Watcher Guru. Something just happened? No, it's good shit. Yeah, I just checked. So I'm checking Watcher Guru right here, right? And it's China just says that there is significant room for trade and economic cooperation with the U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent says substantial tax refunds coming in early 2026. He also says substantial tariff news is coming in the next few days. That's pretty much it, right? That's the bullish news. The rest is just like BS. Excuse me. Let me put this back in its corner down here on my new monitor, so I can keep track of that. If you guys see any news, by the way, that's happening, as to why this is dumping like this, let me know. I guess it's just regular market movements, but it is pretty sharp. Considering that I am bullish, you know, we're forming higher lows the entire time. What I'm worried about is if this comes down and sweeps this and then comes down to this area. Oh, I need some water, excuse me. Okay, let's start that again. So what I am worried about is that this dips down, sweeps these lows, and then creates a new pivot point down there. It's not so much that I'm really worried, but this is essentially an area that I would like to long and add on to my longs, right? Because it would still be a higher low, right? If it pivots right there, then you would have the higher low there, and these other two higher lows just basically go away. but I didn't think that it would do that, right? I'm thinking that it's gonna do a nice curvature like that. Let me probably pull up a curve trend line. Where's the curve trend line? There you go. Yeah, so you see it's pretty much lining up perfectly. So if it bounces there, it's still you know, hitting this nice little curved area. But yeah, I mean I'm thinking it's pretty bullish. You know, I'm gonna just leave that there and get back to it in a second. Let's just finish up this Uniswap thread really quick. Dude, I mean, this is more in depth than even I thought. I didn't think that I would be sitting here talking about this shit for 45 minutes. But let's just finish it, because we're already at the at the very end, right? So robust fee generation, like continue a portion of blah 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 boom beep beep. These dynamics. This is just mostly talking about Uniswap. It's not really that useful. Let's see the data though. But you can see that the DEX volume, this is the DeFi Llama thing. We can take a better look at it later. But it's continues to grow. So DEX and DeFi is booming, you know. And I think it's just gonna. I mean, once RWAs get implemented, bro, I think it's gonna go bananas, right? I think it's gonna really like launch it parabolic to the next level, and that's because right now people on crypto have been cut off from trading stocks, and they want to, but I mean, many people just don't want to go open up a bank. They don't want to, you know, jump through all the loops and hurdles, right? I mean, you could do it easily on Robinhood, but there's individuals that don't want to take money out of crypto. You know, all of the crypto natives that have basically their entire portfolio in crypto, like they don't want to cash out into US dollar and then send it over to Robinhood and you know, this 3 to 5 day ACH transfer, this fucking like dinosaur technology, this antiquated technology. Nobody wants to deal with that shit, right? So a lot of people, and then for what? When, you know, instead of buying bonds or a house and renting it out and earning, you know, arguably worse yields, you can just invest in a stablecoin farm like Hyperliquid or Omnivault, Orderly's Omnivault, or, you know, ENA even, and earn better yields. So like, why go back and downgrade when you're in the forefront of the financial world, right? So a lot of those people, when they get access to RWAs, I think are gonna basically look to finally start trading stocks, and I mean, I think it's gonna boom, right? I think it's really gonna help with the volumes on Uniswap and all the different AMMs. Anyways, if passed and executed as designed, the unification initiative would effectively turn Uni into a deflationary asset, create a direct, transparent link between protocol performance and token values, redirect value accrual that was previously fragmented back towards Uni holders, with Uni's market cap currently around 5.5 billion. The key question becomes, if Uniswap successfully aligns protocol revenues, liquidity, and user growth under this new model, what multiple or narrative does the market assign to Uni next? And we are finally done with the thread. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our researchers a hand of applause. I think it was pretty damn good. It was a lot longer than I thought, a lot more in depth than I thought. But if you guys will please, I'm gonna share that in the Discord. I'm gonna share that in the chats. Hit that link, give it a like, give it a retweet, you know, leave a comment, whatever you can to show your support. It would really help us as well as make the researchers happy, because you know they work hard on this stuff. They actually like go through, they use AI obviously to like help like draft it and stuff, but they actually do everything themselves. So it's they have to do like one post a day essentially. That's the bare minimum. But they essentially take the entire day doing it. So it does take a lot of time from them, and would really make them happy. Let's see what else they got. This is what they posted yesterday, and then this is just the update of saying like, hey, you know, we switched our accounts, blah blah blah. Other than that, it used to be like the what intern thing. So like, just don't scroll down there. it's you know, he tried, our artist tried, but obviously the market did not reciprocate. So we'll see if the research and the research content is something that the followers and users will appreciate more. Okay, guys. So now, one of the things that I want to talk about is also PumpFun. Let's see. Let me just slide this away. I don't know what's on my history. I'm always scared of showing my history. So before I embarrass myself, let me see. What did I search? Crypto satire, optimizing belly fat loss strategy. I just researched that in the gym while I was in the sauna, because I was like, man, I'm already completely focused on the gym, but like I just wanted to look for natural ways to optimize, and obviously it's you know, it's just a lot of bullshit. You just gotta do cardio and diet properly and keep working out. Anyways, I'm gonna start cutting soon. I've been bulking for a long time. I'm you know, but I look too fat, so I gotta cut down so you can actually see the definition. Anyways, Pump token analysis report, revenue, deflationary metrics, vesting, and short-term outlook. This is basically my prompt that I put. So take a look at PumpFun's token. Give me a full in-depth analysis report of the revenue stream it is making, any sort of buybacks that can be considered deflationary pressure, and other deflationary metrics. Take a look at the vesting calendar. Let me know how this correlates with the buybacks, deflationary metrics, and whether you believe it's fundamentally bullish or bearish in the next 3 months. This is my prompt, and they came out with this. If you guys don't know, Grok and AI does a really good job at like basically helping you with research, right? So I mean, this basically looks like well, I mean, it has a nice little chart and stuff that we don't have, but this looks very similar to like even the Uniswap thread, right? But I do know that our researchers actually write out the Uniswap thread. Like I actually see them writing it all out loud. And then they just use AI to basically make it sound better because they're not English natives. But they also use AI to do research, right? So they'll like research multiple different coins using AI, and when they find something that they think is alpha, then that's what they'll use and share it. So if you guys wanted to avoid that, or just get essentially research articles that you know are going to be alpha, then again, follow what exchange, because that's essentially a filter of these different like AI reports, right? Or you can just sit there and fucking do this for every single coin. You know, it's gonna take a long time to read and do all that stuff and filter through, but by all means, you know, help yourselves. Anyways, Pump is the native token of PumpFun, Solana, blah blah blah. Current metrics, yada yada yada. Revenue. Okay, so this is the important thing, right? Platform generates 1.1 million daily with an annualized revenue of 331 million, primarily from launch fees. Deflationary pressure, 100% of the revenue is, and this is also very important, 100% of the revenue allocated to buybacks since July 2025, totaling 172 million, which is 10.8% of the initial circulating supply burned. This offsets unlocks and supports scarcity. So this right here is why I basically didn't even read the rest. I didn't have to, because this is super bullish, right? So I was just like, oh, bro, fuck longing Ethereum. I'm gonna long PumpFun. So I literally closed my Ethereum long and decided to long PumpFun instead, which is now in profits, by the way. Well, actually, I don't know. This is dumb. I guess we gotta see. But But yeah, I think I like one of the things that I was telling the interviewer yesterday, and he was like, how do you choose your coins? What to buy, what to sell, what to long, etc., etc. One of the things that I said is if I'm looking for a bullish pivot, or if I'm bullish, I look for coins that are more bullish than others, usually due to supply and demand metrics. So this is a perfect example of one, right? Like it is doing tons of buybacks, and the market cap is not massive like Hyperliquid is. So it's like the deflationary aspect of it is huge, bro. I mean, since July, it's burned 10.8% of the circulating supply. That's huge. That's way more and better than Hyperliquid. So even though it's making much less money than Hyperliquid, Hyperliquid is making like 1 billion a year or something like that. It is burning so much more at this rate. And another thing that I looked at, actually what I looked at first before I even looked at this thing, was the drops tab. So let's go. Let's open up drops tab. One of the first things that I look at when I'm researching a coin, if I think it's good to buy or not, is drops tab, because I like to look at the because I like to look at the vesting period, right, to see if there's inflation, what's coming out, blah blah blah. The article will also talk about this, I'm sure. I haven't read it, but I'm sure it will. But it's just so easy to go on PumpFun and on Jobs tab, and you can see the circulating supply here, and then the unlock and when it unlocks. So unlock in 29 days is $9 million, right? And so that's, you know, not that much for this project. But then you go to vesting and you can see it, break it down clear and clear. And when you go down here, you can see that the unlock that's happening basically every day, even today, the unlock that's happening isn't really an unlock that you should be worried about, right? Because it's not going into the hands of investors or advisors or like anything like that, right? It's going into the treasury. And most tokens that go into the treasury just simply aren't used, right? So it's there just in case as like a cushion and as a stockpile, so that if a project needs to pay for a KOL, pay for marketing, pay a grant to some developers, or, you know, like whatever, like buy a office or something somewhere, then they'll use that. Essentially they'll burn that to buy the stuff. But it's usually, I mean, for something like PumpFun, I mean, the treasury must have so freaking much that that is, I don't really think that it's gonna really account or equate into like very high sell pressure. Also, it's 0.21% of the total supply. That's not that much. I'll give you an example of one that is a lot, which is Starknet. And which is something that we talked about on the last stream, but you know, it's not that much just straight off the bat. But this is going on for 212 days, and then in July 12th 2026, after 242 days, we're gonna get unlocks from the team and from existing investors. Now this is a very risky and sell the news unlock event. I'm assuming that the PumpFun team is just doing 100% buybacks because they want to pump this up as much as they can, so that when their unlocks come out, they can just dump the shit out of it, because we know that PumpFun team does not like to hold. They sold everything from Solana. They're very much value extractors, and what would be the difference, right, with their own token? So basically what this tells me is that we have, like, you know, several months. We have 212 days left to enjoy this buy pressure. So that's why I decided along yesterday, after seeing that they're doing this, and basically analyzing and assuming and predicting that, okay, they're just trying to pump it up so that they can dump it later, right? But if you want to go into it even further, you know, there's the revenue streams. It tells you the total fees that are being made in 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, annualized, etc., etc. It breaks down the revenue buybacks. bonding curve fees, 80 to 85%, blah, 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 blah. This is like going into more of the details of everything, right? Buybacks has deflationary pressure. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so $1.11 million, which is 0.02% daily. It's pretty high. Now that I see this, I want to take this thread. Let me see. Vesting calendar. Yeah, we already just saw that. Correlation buybacks versus deflationary. Short-term buybacks dwarf the November 12 unlocks 2 billion tokens in one time. Accumulative burns 172 million. Already offset 50% of the post-TGE dumps. Deflationary pressure builds a buffer. Medium-term tension, 2026 cliff, July unlocks could add 14% to the circulation, but projected annual burns could neutralize revenue scales 20-30% year over year. Again, I would not hold from this cliff. I would sell probably like probably at least like 1 month, like 30 days, maybe 45 days before this cliff actually goes on. Stream broke? What? Uh-oh. Ah, shit. I think it's broke on PumpFun. Ah, my internet. Oh no. Oh, the stream just... is it lagging on... No, I'm still on Twitter. Yeah, I'm still on Twitter, bro. I think PumpFun's having a problem. I gotta reset it on PumpFun. 1 second, guys. Let me just reset this bad boy. Give me 5 seconds. Technical issues. Still working on Twitter. Yeah, I think it's still working on YouTube as well. Can somebody on YouTube give me a check, or Twitch that it's working? Let me go to Restream. Sorry about this, guys. Give me 5 seconds. Yeah, working on YouTube too. All right, cool. Yeah, so just watch on YouTube for now, I think. You're signing back into Restream. Yes, continue. It's really annoying when this shit happens.
I'm sorry I won't be there to see it, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be.
I think the connection on Restream just disconnected essentially. Let me turn it back off and on. PumpFun off. Turn it back on. And it's still not showing. Yeah, it's still not showing. I don't know why. I think PumpFun's having problems. It doesn't seem like it's on my end. I think it's on PumpFun's end. So yeah, I mean, you know, we'll continue the show. Unfortunately, I can't fix it. I already tried. I don't know what else to do, right? Button turn on, button turn off. That's the only thing that usually works, and for some reason didn't work. So it is what it is. Not that many people watch on PumpFun either, so it doesn't matter. It's like, well, now it's down to 7. It was like 17 earlier, but it is what it is. By the way, everyone else watching on Twitter and on YouTube and Twitch and all that stuff, I don't know how many people are watching on YouTube and Twitch, but for you 501 people watching on Twitter, I highly appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know, it's much better than the last time I streamed. It was only like 330. I think like at the peaks we were doing like 550. So it's nice to see that the market is basically getting the confidence back and that you guys are tuning back into the stream. So if you guys would like to see the stream from the beginning or know when I'm getting back on stream, make sure you turn on the notification. The time is 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You know, or just put an alert or whatever. If you're in Asia like me, that is 9 p.m. Indo-China time, which is Bangkok time, right? So if you guys want to tune in for the next episodes, just make sure you put your alarms and all that fun jazz. Anyway, so let's continue on with this, right? So now we see, you know, the PumpFun is bullish, Uniswap is bullish. Now the real question is, which one is more bullish? Which one should we really buy into? More so than the other one, right? So take a look at this thread. Gather all the data on let's do Uniswap, new unification upgrade, and compare the buybacks, the buyback pressure, overall deflationary pressure with pump, and let's make sure it doesn't get stupid. PumpFun with pumps deflationary slash buyback pressure. Just taking pure numbers and supply slash demand into consideration by reviewing the annual earnings slash buybacks versus by reviewing the annual earnings slash buybacks versus the market cap. Also take inflationary metrics into equation. Tell me which one is a better buy. So let's see how good this is. In the meantime, somebody fucking say something, bro. We got like 500 people watching. Nobody says a goddamn thing. Only Rabaristo. If you guys want to join the Discord, it is discord.gg/whatexchange. I'll type the link into the chat for you guys. Except for Twitter, which is like where most of the viewers are at. So unfortunately you guys can't see this message, but discord.gg/whatexchange. There you go. Oh, you guys heard that? That was a nice one. Oh, I think we're back on PumpFun. Oh, it is definitely lagging though. Yeah, so there's problems happening on PumpFun, like specifically. Yeah, that has nothing to do with me. I think it's their servers. They might be getting DDoS. Executing code, searching the web. Jesus, this is taking a long time. I guess let's do some TA while we come back to this, huh? Let's see where the market's at right now. Looks like it wanted to bounce right here. Didn't really do much though. One thing that I want to take a look at actually is DXY. So I am calling the bottom yet again. Eventually, you know, the good thing about continuously calling the bottom and being, you know, saying there's the bottom, I'm going long, is that eventually, inevitably, you will be right. And when you get that one right call, you make sure you blast it fucking everywhere, so everyone can think that you're a goddamn genius. Yeah, exactly. The good old KOL game. There's a nice gap right here I want to close though. I want to see closed. Actually, I don't, because then Bitcoin and everything will go down. But it looks like it wants to close. But maybe that's the trap, you know. Maybe that's the bear trap, or the bull trap. No, the bear trap. The bear trap. Maybe that's the bear trap. Okay, so the 4-hour chart looks very choppy. There's no like reversal pattern happening. Maybe there you could see like a head and shoulders right here. That's the left, right? It's rejecting at this neckline area. So when I analyzed this yesterday for that interview thing, for that video, I'm actually looking forward to it because I've seen the guy's other videos and they're produced pretty well. So I'm actually looking forward to that episode. I'm surprised that he hit me up, to be honest. But anyways, when I was reviewing before, I saw that, like, you know, there's still plenty of support happening. So there's the Tenkan-sen right here. You know, there's essentially these two different clouds of support. The big cloud of support right there. I think if anything, we're gonna trail. This is the daily, so we need 1, 2. It's Wednesday, so this would be Friday. So I wonder if on Friday we dump, or maybe Monday when the market opens, it just fucking dumps all the way down here, right? Usually when the clouds twist, there's always like some sort of volatile, not always, but frequently there's some sort of volatile price action. So I'm wondering if, like, definitely within one of these days we have a very strong dump. So the reason why I think that we're gonna dump, and this is bottom on Bitcoin and on the stock markets, but we're gonna dump on DXY, is because the government is finally opening back up, right? They've already pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much confirmed. They're just going through all of the different loopholes, right? Like all of the politics about it. But you can take a look at this thread right here, which talks about the entire, you know, why the global macroeconomics. We'll just review this really quick. BTC cools down to this and that, blah blah blah. Psychological impact of the U.S. government reopening. The U.S. Congress moving closer to an agreement to pass a temporary spending bill, ending the threat of a prolonged 40-day government shutdown. So we checked the history on the last stream. This is actually the longest government shutdown that has ever happened in the United States, ever. So it's significant, right? Because when the government shuts down, the flywheel stops. The entire flywheel stops, which means that the whole fucking world basically is put on hold. And the thing that is most important is that the Fed stops printing, the government stops spending, right? So if the money is not trickling down from the very, very top, which is the U.S. government, that's the top of the pyramid of this fucking Ponzi-nomics world that we live in, then you know, everything just starts to crumble. Everything just starts to dump, right? We're seeing fucking sell pressure even happening right now. We need money flowing. We need this trickle down economics, especially from the fucking top of the pyramid, in order to keep the world churning. So 40 days of nothing is very significant. To be honest, I feel like we should have dumped even harder. The fact that it hasn't is quite surprising. Anyways, has lifted a major psychological risk burden from the market. This signals a rare incidence of bipartisan cooperation, easing concerns, yada yada yada. So there's another important thing that I want to put out there, and that's this $2,000 tariff dividend. So the news about $2,000 tariff dividend plan strongly triggered the history repeats itself sentiment seen in 2020 when direct cash stimulus package caused a crypto boom. However, the difference between these two money injections is something that many people overlook, which is something that I overlooked until my researchers made this thread. I didn't make this thread. I'm too fucking lazy to do this shit. I'm too busy to do this shit as well. Like I'm so burnt out from being a KOL that I didn't make this. It's actually one of my researchers that did this. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good thread, to be honest. And this particularly is what I wanted to talk about, because I'm one of those individuals that thought, okay, $22,000 is being injected into the market. That's exactly what happened during COVID, right? So I thought, oh yeah, for sure we're gonna pump. And then I also thought, you know, when the Fed finally turns back on, it has essentially, I'm assuming he's gonna print so much money because it's been shut down essentially for 40 days that that it's gonna be like a very sharp correction, right? But that's not the case, because if you see here, it says 2025, the tariff dividend plan is more likely to be implemented through indirect tax reductions, deductions, exemptions. This mechanism is fiscal/technical in nature and is unlikely to create the direct and immediate money pump effect seen in 2020. So I know a lot of people that, you know, pay taxes and get their tax return at the end of the year. Instead of getting a relatively smaller tax return, I think that they'll be getting a much bigger tax return, right? A lot of like the retail employee, you know, blue collar, whatever, workers, I think that they'll be getting wait, can you guys hear me? I hear it in this. This is what's fucking making all the noise. How do I have two headphones on? It is what it is. Let me mute this over here, just in case. This is what's making the noise. Wait, could you guys hear this the whole time? Please tell me you couldn't hear it the whole time. Otherwise, it would have been an echo. Because I don't hear shit. I just hear the music right now on these headphones. I don't know how I have two headphones connected. That's weird. Anyways. Yeah, hearing is okay. Some voices come from your headphones, but just now. Oh, okay. So that was from this. Oh, man. Well. Okay. Well, at least it wasn't the entire episode. Sorry about that that noise interference. But so anyway, so how I see this tariff dividend happening is that I think it will be bullish, but not necessarily right now. I think that when people get their tax refunds, they'll see even more money coming back to them, and particularly, you know, like I guess a bonus in a sense. But that's not really gonna happen until what, like Q1, Q2 of next year. So it does paint this picture of basically next year being bullish and the end of this year just being somewhat bearish and stalling or whatever. I'm still bullish that this is bottom, but I don't think that it's gonna be like a very sharp U or V recovery upwards. I think it's gonna be very slow, choppy, like trying to build a higher low every time until finally confidence comes back, and then we really see the market rip next year. So yeah, so that's one thing. Another thing right here that is really important that I actually haven't talked about, and I just learned from this thing as well, is the foundational factor, the Fed ending QT and QE expectations. You know, I've heard about it, I've seen it on a lot of the on political news and stuff, but it's always been like it hasn't been anything substantial that is happening right now, right? So I feel like, oh, okay, it doesn't really play a part in the market yet, so I didn't really look that much deeper into it. But reading this, it tells me it's pretty damn bullish, right? So this may be the single most crucial macro driver determining the long-term direction of the market. Ending QT, quantitative tightening, the Fed stopping its liquidity draining program by the end of the year, projected for December 1st, 2025. I didn't know that it was going to be that soon. So I mean, it's November 12th right now, right? That's coming up. That's right around the corner. So that is huge news. It will remove the pressure of money being withdrawn from the financial system, reducing a major barrier to recovery. QE expectations, though not confirmed, forecast that the Fed might have to restart QE money printing in early Q1 2026 to support the economy, have created an ultra-optimistic outlook. The signal of a shift from tightening to easing policy is the most powerful catalyst, prompting institutional and retail capital to prepare to pour into risk assets like crypto. Institutional flow and MicroStrategy, right? So here's another thing, right? Like MicroStrategy is raising, a bunch more money from euros to purchase Bitcoin, and their buy pressure has been a lot smaller. But in the last 24 hours, or maybe like 48 hours now, he said, he's going to buy some more. So hopefully it's a much bigger buy. But I think recently he's just been doing a lot more smaller buys, but more frequently. He does them like once every week, once every 2 weeks now, which is not bad. And it definitely does start to accumulate upwards. Though it now, due to the size of Bitcoin, it's kind of like a drop in the water, right? But one thing that I think is even more bullish than MicroStrategy buying and the DATs is that the end of the year is coming up, and Bitmain still has that goal to purchase. I forget how much. Let's go ahead and look at AI and ask them. But to purchase a substantial amount, we'll find out right now. But basically all of that summarized up is why I believe that we're bottoming out, but it's not going to be like as sharp of a correction as I was hoping for. Let me basically draw out what I think is going to happen. Excusez-moi. Talking a lot, man. It really dries up your throat. What happened to my music, bro? I think it stopped. Okay, chill music. All right, that's good. I'm about to go to sleep, so I can do chill music right now. So anyways, we have this, right? I think is basically creating higher lows. Maybe this is gonna come down and, like I said, sweep these lows and create another higher low over here. That would be bad, but then it would allow DXY to close that gap at the top if we're coming back down. But if overall, it just seems like a lot of just chop, right? I wouldn't really be looking to trade this stuff. If you are longing, just use very low leverage, 2x, 3x. Don't go crazy. Excuse me, but I'm hoping that we have something of, like this. Maybe it'll sweep these highs. But then it doesn't go that much higher. It just goes like to right there, and then it comes all the way back down, and then it comes back up, and then little by little we start creating new highs, because once it clears this area right here, I think that's when the confidence really comes back in. If we just do this, people are gonna think that there's a bear flag, and then if it comes back down over here and sort of sweeps the liquidity in that range, and then bounces and starts to go back up and break back into the bear flag, then that right here, this movement of breaking back into the bear flag and essentially invalidating that pattern and breaking back above this range is what will really make the markets think that, okay, this is bullish now. There's no reason to be shorting. There's no reason to be bearish. It's time to buy back in, and this where we're at right now, accumulating, would essentially be seen as like another generational bottom, right? I don't know about generational, but it would look like another bottom before the next rally upwards. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm essentially trading and accumulating, small longs on, buying some spot as well. But I think that this area is a very key area to be buying. And I think the R&R is pretty good. All right, let's take a look at the PumpFun versus Uni deflationary pressure comparison post unification. Let's see which one's better. I'm not gonna read all of this. My throat's dry. Okay, so this basically says everything we need to know. So Uni, lower relative buy pressure, 3.6 to 6% of market cap annually, but no ongoing inflation and a massive initial burn, providing short-term scarcity. Pump, higher relative buy pressure, 15.8% of the market cap annually. That's fucking huge. from 100% revenue allocation, though tempered by minor unlocks. 0.3% of circulating today, and major cliffs in 2026. So, I mean, I don't even need to look at the rest of the stuff, right? If you guys want, you can go ahead, fill in the prompt and review. But I mean, we already have the answer. It is way better to buy Pump, and I figured it would have been just looking at the numbers. But it is way better to long Pump than it is to long Uniswap. With that being said, Uniswap is still a pretty good coin to be investing in my opinion. So let's go ahead and do a quick little let me pull up the charts over here. Let's do a quick, so this is how the uni chart looks. It's already pumped back up. Oh wow, hold on, I guess we don't have that much data on that. Let's just do it on TradingView for now. So Uniswap has already bounced back up above the October 10th range. So it is, it's basically fully recovered. I do think it's gonna come down because it looks like the market wants to come down and sweep those lows. So maybe it'll come down to like halfway point. And I would look to get in probably around like $7. I think $7 would be a pretty good entry level. Let's do a Fibonacci. Yeah, so that's a 0.618. So that's, I mean, it technically is like 6.874, but whatever, $7, bro. $7 seems like a very good entry for this. It could go lower, but if you just use essentially like maybe 1.5x or something like that and just accumulate from $7 upwards, I think that it's a pretty safe buy. Let's take a look at PumpFun. Now, PumpFun has not recovered from the crash. It doesn't have that much support like Uniswap has, for sure. Whalish support. And all of their retail traders are obviously fucking broke, right? They've all been drained. Bro, PumpFun is just, I don't know why it's so deserted at the moment. Oh, hey, we got people actually talking in the chat. My bad, I didn't see your guys' thing. Oh, it's Justin. What's up, Justin? How's it going? Bro, did you talk about the trading competition yet? Sorry, I was late to the stream tonight. That's why I was so quiet in the chat. No, we haven't talked about it yet. I guess I'll do that right before I log off. But let me just finish this up and then I'll talk about that. And yeah, and then log off with that. But so I entered in around here. So I'm right around like, I think I'm in red right now, but not that much, just a little bit. And my liquidation is like all the way down here at like 0.003 or something like that. So it's pretty far. And right now, what we have forming on PumpFun is a potential very clear inverse head and shoulders. The thing that you would want to wait and look for is to see if the crypto markets actually do bounce from here. We're seeing a significant bounce on Bitcoin's buy pressure. It's just been essentially buying this entire time. This is the American markets. Yeah, so it's Kraken and Coinbase. But the overall market has just continued to dump. Let's see if we see any signs of recovery on the CVD here. Not really, maybe a tiny little bit. Definitely too early to tell. You would want to see a divergence for a little bit longer than just like this tiny little bloop. But yeah, I mean, if you want to be a degen, if you wanted to trade something, if you just wanted to trade, you're just fucking bored, then yeah, probably look to long around these levels. I would, obviously stop probably like right there. Like I'd risk like 3% because the rewards on this, even if you just longed right now, right? Let's see if we 0.0041, that's about like 3.85%. And and that's the right shoulder of another inverse head and shoulders. It's inverse head and shoulders inside of inverse head and shoulders. Head and shoulders for days, bro. Tons of dandruff. Okay, so technically this target should be wow, that would be a really good. That'd be a really good target. 40%. So yeah, so if you're going just based off of like, actually we can lower this down. Let's do candlesticks. If you're going just based off of like the traditional market, excuse me, the traditional technical analysis, charting patterns, and like take profits, etc., etc. It's usually like the size of the head. So after it breaks out of the neck, the target would be the size of the head, right? So we're basically front running that. We're just gonna assume that the shoulder is gonna take place, right? And if you did that, then the R&R would be 10.51. Again, I wouldn't necessarily take this trade. Like, I would just not have a stop loss and just buy there and just use very, very low leverage, like, you know, 2x or something like that. But if you guys wanted to, then I guess you could even put this down. Nah, I mean, I think if it goes down that low, it's just gonna keep dumping. I would just have a really tight stop. Probably risk only like 2.5%. That's a 16.01% ratio, right? So this would be like a YOLO trade. Yeah, it's just continue sell pressure. I think we're just gonna dump. I think we're gonna come down and sweep those lows. I think we're gonna follow this purple line down here. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm safe with my longs. I'm still feeling pretty bullish. It's just all of this nasty chop. So, you know, just honestly, the best thing to do is probably to just sit this out, wait until there's further clarity and confirmation, and save your money, because on Friday we are having a trading competition on what exchange, and every other orderly, well, not every other orderly DEX. I think it's like 5 or 6 DEXs. So all of us are pooling in money together. I think the prize pot's gonna be like $100,000 or something like that. I mean, it's not like $1 million, but it's a, you know, significant amount, right? Especially if you got wrecked on the October 10th crash. If you just fucking lost everything, then this is a very good and nice opportunity to basically win it all back, or at least a substantial amount back. It's going to be P&L based. It's not going to be, I believe it's going to be P&L based. More details to come soon. You know, make sure you're just following the Twitter, What Exchange Twitter, and Orderly Twitter as well. But more details to come very, very soon. It's going to start on Friday, and it's essentially KOLs versus the community. That's like the concept of it, right? And the KOLs are also versus themselves, or something like that. I don't know. To be honest, like I don't even know exactly how it's going to be set up. But I think it'll be a very good opportunity for you guys to earn some of that October 10th crash money. And then right after that, most likely, you know, for the holidays. So that competition will last from November 15th to December 15th. And then we're going to basically take a break from the holidays in terms of trading competitions, because trading competitions, you got to be sitting in front of your screen all day, right? For December, go fucking be with your family. You know what I mean? Like, this shit it's still gonna be here. Crypto never sleeps. Crypto never goes away. You know, you can trade from your phone or whatever the fuck for you addicts out there. But you know, and just enjoy the holidays, right? After the holidays, most likely sometime in January, early January, like January, I don't know, maybe 5th or something, we'll do a What Exchange exclusive trading competition. And you know, we'll come out with details on that, but it's also going to be a nice little opportunity for you guys to basically trade against yourselves within the what community, and you know, just earn some money back and have fun while you're doing it, right? So make sure you guys tune into that, and I think that's all I got for you now. So please make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit that subscribe, make sure you hit that follow, And I will catch you guys on Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Whoop. Peace, peace. Oh, no. No, 10 a.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. Eastern. My bad. Shit.